popcorn, grab a Coke, find that old VHS. We're diving deep in cheesy flicks. Yeah, we're on a vintage quest. Dollar on views, but high on laughs. Let's give these films a cheer. Cult classics, flops, and duds. There are topics on here. The Ejectables, rolling back the years. Celebrating movies that no one else cheers. From downright bad to epic fails, we say it's all good. The Ejectables, yeah, they're misunderstood.
Welcome to the Ejectables. This is the show where movie enthusiasts Bill and Ian join forces with a weekly rotating guest to celebrate movies that we feel have been unjustly panned by the critics or sadly ignored and forgotten by audiences. Today's guest,
He's Ben Wagner, writer, director, and producer, making emotionally grounded stories. He co-founded AKA Productions, heartfelt, commercially viable constructions. As a filmmaker, he's known for Southbounders, Dead Within, Plantman and Blondie, a dress-up gang film, otherwise known as a Friday night at Bill Narducci's house. Everyone, please welcome Ben Wagner!
Wow.
welcome to the show, Ben.
That is an incredible introduction. I thank you so much for.
No, thank you for joining us. And beyond that being a Friday night at Bill's house, can you tell us about Plantman and Zombies?
Yeah,
Blondie.
So Plantman and Blondie, the Dress Up Gang, is this incredibly talented comedy troupe from Los Angeles. They've had a TV show. They got together to make a great little independent film that was just at South by Southwest, did very well, won 3 awards, including the Audience Award. And it's this great sort of, I wouldn't say improvised comedy, but it leans on a lot of sort of naturalistic comedy sort of elements. But it's a story of sort of middle-aged male loneliness in Los Angeles and sort of trying to find your family together. So when you get a chance to see this movie, you will love it. And it's the affirming, positive story that we all need right now. So.
When might we get a chance to see this film?
We're still doing the festival run on it, but we're having some good progress, and I would imagine it'll be on one of the major streamers probably by the end of the year.
And looking at your bio, it looks like you do like somewhat. Obviously, those posters didn't really represent the movies you make.
Really?
But I don't know. From what I heard, from what Tim told me, I mean, Bill, but do you like genre filmmaking, it seems like, to some degree?
To some way, yes. I mean, I think that's where I'm working right now, is in genre filmmaking in general. But, even I think the thing about genre as a title is so limiting, because really we all just want to tell good stories that are compelling and really speak to the human experience. And if you want to do that through a genre lens, the metaphor of horror, of thriller, of comedy is a great way to make that connection with an audience. But I don't think it's not a limiting factor. But having said that, yeah, like we make horror movies, we make thrillers, we make the down the line genre content.
I love that
I
stuff.
can't believe I just used that word. I want to.
You said content, even with quote fingers.
I had to, make it known that I regret having said that.
It's okay. We forgive you. Anyway,
there you go. Because we're here to discuss films, right? Like movies.
Yeah, movies. Because of you, we have a special episode today.
It's the Joel Silver Movies episode.
He makes some very manly films from time to time, so he's got that gravelly voice. But let's just get into.
Do not eject. Do not eject. Do not eject this.
Oh.
I think that's the resident opera singer asking you what your pick is for our show, Ben.
I get to open. Oh, excellent! Because So I chose Speed Racer from the Wachowskis. I think it was their follow-up to the Matrix series, and they went in a completely different direction than probably anyone expected. And they made a movie that, again, was outside of the box. It was so forward-thinking in terms of the way it was edited, structured, and it was this candy-colored explosion of energy. And I will say, in full disclosure, I had this in the back of my head as a film that had been unfairly maligned and ignored years ago. And then when I rewatched it, I was like, yeah, okay, maybe there was some truth to that. But I do not rescind my vote for this being the film I want to discuss. So,
are you a Matrix fan?
I mean, like anyone probably of our age group. I mean, the Matrix. I think along the sort of the through line of what I just said about Speed Racer was a seminal movie that broke tradition and opened our eyes to a new way of telling stories and new visual sort of language. So yes, the first Matrix, incredible.
Oh, amazing.
And the other ones, they fade off. But like that first one is really, I mean, it's one of the greatest movies ever made. So
agreed.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to the Speed Racer trailer and we can discuss it a little more after.
Your son seems to be interested in only one thing. All he talks about, all he seems capable of thinking about, is automobile racing.
Racing's everything. For my family, it isn't just a sport. It's way more important than that. It's like a religion.
Are you ready to become a real race car driver? Then sign that contract.
He's just trying to scare you, son.
What you do behind the wheel of a race car has nothing to do with business.
You walk away from me, you walk away from this deal, no matter how well you drive, you won't win, you won't place. I guarantee you right now, you won't even finish the race.
You think you can drive a car and change the world? It doesn't work like that.
Maybe not. But it's the only thing I know how to do, and I gotta do something.
Move it, Speed. It's getting ugly out there.
Wasn't my idea.
Oh, no?
It was his.
He's going to be very good.
No, he's going to be the best if they don't destroy him first.
Were you a fan of the comics or the cartoon?
Or the anime? Yeah, 100%. I was predisposed to like that. Although, in all honesty, Wachowskis, they've always been inspired by Japanese culture in anime, and you can see elements of that here. That was clearly what happened in the Matrix, and they did it again in this. They were sort of inspired by that sort of form of storytelling, but it's a real divergence from even what the cartoon was like. I mean, it is so frenetic and more energetic and just gonzo in a way that the cartoon itself just never reached that level. So I think they were definitely trying to push things even further and really kind of embrace a new style with the editorial sort of process that was beyond just the cartoon.
And did the story stay close to what you knew the cartoon to be, or was this sort of its own thing?
If you watch the cartoon, I don't know, have either of you watched it at all?
I think was it like on MTV or something? Or...
Yeah, they played it was like Cartoon Central like late night kind of thing.
I've seen parts of it.
It's very slow paced. I mean, it was like a 1960s cartoon, so it's like the pacing of the story was very slow,
like this
relatively. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. So that's the big difference is I think they probably took the entire arc of narrative that was ever created for Speed Racer and condensed it down into an hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever it is. But the contours of Racer X possibly being his brother and those sorts of things were always present in the comic. But really, I never really look at this as, oh, I love Speed Racer, the Japanese animated show, and this is the extension. This is really just, this was in an era where computer graphics was finally becoming something that was useful, and it was so raw. And I mean, nowadays it looks sort of antiquated and just kind of horrible. But this was right around the time where, like, you know, what was it, like 300 and Sky Captain and Spy Kids and all these things were coming about. And there was this opportunity, like, hey, Sin City, we're going to create this new way of telling story, which isn't quite film and isn't quite a cartoon. It's a sort of this combination of animation. And so they were doing all these crazy composite work. And there were moments in it where it's beautiful and you get sucked in and the narrative takes you in there and you're just on these rails. And then there are other times where the mats are so ugly and just horrible that they just take you out of it. But that's, you know, 20 years later looking at that. I mean, at the time, these were relatively impressive graphics. And also they weren't trying to strike naturalism. And this was supposed to be something that was unusual and different than what the eye was expecting.
I lived in Belgium when this came out, and I remember going with my son. We drove to the Netherlands to see it in English, and he was 4 years old. I took him definitely way too young. We went to this movie.
Child abuse.
And I know in retrospect it probably was. And now he's back in Europe to run away from me. But I got to tell you, this movie for me was like having two sparklers shoved into my eyeballs, and this is the visual to go along with that. I respect that people like it, but for me, I don't know if it's the high definess about it, where some of it, like I think you said, it just looks kind of cheap at times. I think the car stuff looks great. All the kind of cartoony car stuff looks amazing. But like when it's in the house or the people like the newscasters, I'm like, oh my God, it looks like it's Nickelodeon or something. And no offense to Nickelodeon. But
I agree. Like that definitely like stands out. I probably, even at the time, it probably felt that way. But it was more obvious to me in hindsight, looking at it now, 18 years, 20 years later, that it's like, oh, this composite, which might have cost, you know, millions of dollars and all the effort in the world and the rotoscope, who knows what it took to do that. And it's you know, on YouTube you can create something just, you know, like that so much faster. So
it's crazy.
We can get into the whole technology, but
this film just like pelts you though, and but the running time, it's like it's like 2 hours 15 minutes long or something, but yet the whole time it's just like pounding at you. So I give them credit for going all the way out. What do you think of this, Bill?
Definitely not the worst ejectable this
episode.
It was tough. It was a tough one, but I appreciate them. I like the Wachowskis when they did Assassins or Bound. I like those Wachowskis better than the Matrix Speed Racer ones.
They did Assassins, the Banderas movie?
Yeah, they wrote the original script.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, one of them went to Emerson. I forget which one.
Bill doesn't like the Matrix.
I could tell just by what he just said.
Yeah, I didn't like the Matrix, but it's fine. But they're talented. I'm glad that it came out. I can't believe a major company released this movie, you know, and now
it's no Cloud Atlas.
Yes, which is Ian's. What was Ian's pick once? But
it wasn't you made our guest pick that movie. That's right. Sorry.
Wow.
Forgot about that.
For that one.
Yeah, that's not what happened. But
that is what happened. Sorry, go on.
You know, but when I rented at the video store in Portland, everyone's like, "Oh, this is like the best movie." So it has such a big following. So maybe they're saying something I don't see. But yeah, to me, it was a tough slog.
No, a lot of people do like this movie. I was looking at IMDb. There's a lot of I can appreciate that people see something I don't see, but as Ben does as well.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Like I said, I don't know if I'm fully wholeheartedly defending this one as I did when I suggested it, but I think actually as a as a touchstone and a historical element of I mean, I think to your point, the fact that how did this get released, and kudos to them for convincing someone to give them the 150, 200 million or whatever it was at the time to make this film and lean in and deliver exactly what they wanted to deliver. Even though, it probably the studio exec giving notes was probably their head was exploding with all the things that they were doing in it. So.
It's actually a famous story. So they wrote the Matrix on spec, and the Warner Brothers gave them notes, the execs, and they just looked at them and they just stood in silence. And the executives were like, "Okay, I guess we'll see you later." And they didn't take any of their notes. It's like a famous writer story.
Wow. And I guess when they were done making this film, they were coming toward their wrap, everyone was sure there was going to be a sequel. The cast was so game and excited to do it. And then I guess it didn't make so much money. Oh, well.
Well, that's why it's an ejectable.
Yeah.
Perfect. Good pick for the show. Anyway.
Do not eject. Do not eject. Do not eject this.
I guess that's the opera singer asking me what my pick is, which is Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight. I remember I was at Emerson College when this came out, and I was not excited to see it, but I wanted to see a movie. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be so dumb, because it's like Tales from the Crypt is going to be goofy. But let's watch the trailer, and then we'll continue this very deep conversation about this very moving film.
A stranger is coming.
Don't scream.
And he's hungry for their souls.
Just hear what I've got to say.
Now, they'll need all of their courage.
Like it or not, we stick together.
To fight the most dangerous evil of all.
They're here! The demons are here!
Supper time.
Tales from the Crypt presents Demon Knight. Rated R. Starts Friday at theaters everywhere.
The trailer's better than the movie.
I loved it. This movie so got me off guard. I was like, this is just going to be silly, but it leans into the horror. It has great practical effects. It's a little trashy. It's funny. It's nice and dark at times. The performances, I think William Sadler brings it all. This is the Billy Zane that we got from Dead Calm, which I loved. And I think he's doing his thing here, and he's funny, he brings a lot of charm, and he plays his character differently than anyone else would. And supposedly James Cameron saw him in this role and was like, he's perfect for Titanic. And that's how he got that. But I think it's a lot of fun. It's a good drive-in movie. What do you think, Ben?
So I would say of the three films here, I think this is the most successful at being exactly what it tried to be. Like, it knew what it was, and it went right for it. Is that something that I want to see? Maybe not. But you're right. Like, the practical effects are great. The horror scares are good. It's pretty well acted. The cast is, it's an amazing cast that they put together. And so, but it's funny because I'm watching it and I'm thinking, like, just a few years later, Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino are going to make From Dusk Till Dawn, which is ostensibly the same plot. And,
true.
And also a lot of great, practical horror effects. And I'm just trying to make the connection or relate the two to one another. And like, why is Demon Knight kind of just a movie of the week, essentially, like an elevated
kind of
movie
forgotten.
of the week. And forgotten. And then, obviously the pedigree associated with the film and the production value is obviously higher but they're so similar actually in a lot of ways. So I support your vote on this one as an ejectable, but
thank you, Ben.
Sorry,
I know it's your favorite film of all time now.
Oh yeah.
Bill, what'd you think? I kind of know what you thought.
Fucking thing sucks.
This is Bill watching the movie. I'm not gonna get invited to the beach house. Sorry.
So I love Bordello of Blood, and I want to plug. There's an amazing podcast from 2022 called "How Not to Make a Movie," which has all the filmmakers from Tales from the Crypt talking about how Bordello of Blood got messed up. You guys have to listen to it. It's great. It's on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. I love Ernest Dickerson. This movie was trash. it was so trash.
Bordello Blood is so bad, but that's okay. I respect your. Bill doesn't like horror movies.
I do like horror movies when they're done well. I was expecting this to be good, and out of all the Joel Silver movies, you picked this one. That he's a producer with 7 other executive producers.
I like his successful movies.
I know. I mean, is it really a Joel Silver movie?
I don't know. His name was on it.
Yeah, I mean,
I will say, since when I heard there was a Joel Silver theme, it did seem very tangential.
Yes.
And also to that, like, we're talking about, like, visceral kind of like manly men kind of stuff. It doesn't really fit in that kind of, box. Which
Bill wouldn't let me choose Predator. I don't know why.
Actually, you should have done Predator 2.
It's not good.
It's a good. The director agrees with you. I like it though.
So digging into when we get to Bill's, that's all in the same way. There's a shared cinematic universe apparently.
Oh yes,
that
I
Bill's
read that.
Selection and Predator exist within. So,
can't wait to hear.
Shall we?
Do not eject. Do not eject. Do not eject this.
There can be only one.
Wow, that's on the nose. So, what did you pick for us, Bill or Tim?
I picked Ricochet, Warner Brothers. I think it's 1991. Why don't I do a trailer and we'll talk about it? Do you have the trailer?
All right. Oh yeah, I'll go down there. Hold on a second. I'm down there.
Drop the gun! Now I'm gonna show you. I got absolutely nothing on underneath, all right? No hidden guns. I don't even have a chest protector on. Absolutely nothing. I mean, I don't want you to look stupid, right? I lay the gun down. You let the girl go. I'll be your hostage. Now I'm putting the gun down.
As a rookie cop, Nick Stiles made an arrest.
Now the only weapon I got left now is useless unless you're a pretty girl.
That launched him into the limelight.
Assistant District Attorney Nicholas Stiles has proven he can round up criminals.
But the one conviction he never thought twice about.
Remember Earl Talbot Blake?
No, the name escapes me.
Never stopped thinking about him.
I got things to live for. There's something real scary out on those streets.
He's watching.
Your closest associate had $10,000 in his possession before he died, and you have been linked to the disappearance of that money and child pornography.
Somebody somewhere is enjoying this because things like this don't just happen.
And waiting.
What if it was somebody he locked up? I can't take this anymore.
You wanted to be in the limelight. What's a hot seat now, pal?
I'm gonna make them pay for this. That's for damn sure they're gonna pay for this.
Yeah, man, if you don't trust me, at least trust my Main Street homeboy.
I want to see his face in the light of those cameras when they put the cuffs on. When it'll be complete.
Denzel Washington, John Lithgow, Ice-T. Ricochet.
Wow.
Whoa. That's a Joel Silver movie right there.
Yeah, so he decided to make a mid-sized budget. I think he was coming off Hudson Hawk, so he had to make something for under $30 million. So Russell McKay, who did Highlander and was a big MTV director, directed. It's beautiful, it's stunning looking.
Mm-hmm.
Decker and the guy that wrote Color Purple wrote it. Yeah, it was a great movie. What do you think, Ben?
Of the 3 movies that we've watched, I would say all 3 were over-the-top cartoons of some form. And this was probably the one of the 3 that did not land the execution for what it was trying to do.
Yeah.
In my, estimate.
Was it Denzel's mustache?
That was the thing to put it over the top, actually.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I look, I enjoyed it, and it is a unofficial sequel to Die Hard and Die Hard 2. So it takes place in that universe, in that world. But I think what it is, it's sort of the extent, like what was perfect in Die Hard and mutated in Die Hard 2. By the time we get to this point, it's kind of just a parody of itself. And there were some just sequences that were so absurd. And we're talking about, we just talked about a movie where, like, you know, demon possessions and all the heads blowing up and all sorts of stuff. And
it's a lot more grounded. Yeah.
It was more grounded than this movie, where there were just so many just like plot holes, where it was just this like, but it was a pure 90s action movie. Like, it is like, you know, manly men being wronged by the system and women are out to get you and all, you know, it's just like, you know, it is what it is.
I saw this movie at the theater when it came out, and I was a huge Russell Mulcahy fan, who directed Highlander, this director, and I was like, oh, this is going to be good. The trailer makes it look like a Brian De Palma film. Like, oh, it's going to be a good thriller. I had no idea that he directed the Buggles Video Killed a Radio Star, and Pressure by Billy Joel, and all these Duran Duran videos. So this guy's like amazing. And then this came out, and I was like, oh man, it's so goofy and over the top. So when he picked this, I was like, I have to rewatch that. And it is so much fun. It is so stupid and outlandish and ridiculous and so goofy, but pure entertainment. If you are not trying to think at all, it's just such goofy fun. It looks amazing. The action's good. It makes no sense, anything that happens. There's even a Highlander like sword fight in it out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And where are the prison guards? Like, it makes no sense. And then the way he breaks out of prison, it's like, what? Like, none of it makes sense. The whole thing at the end, nothing was like this. This is like way beyond that. But the cool thing is, oh, I'm sorry. Go on, Ben.
No. I want you to finish your thought.
Well, I was just going to say, like you said, it is supposed to be in the Die Hard universe, and the woman reporter, Mary Ellen Trainor, she's playing the same exact reporter by the name and everything as she did in Die Hard, which is so cool.
You know, she was married to Robert Zemeckis.
Oh, I think I did know that because of you.
Yeah, that was Zemeckis' first wife, and she used to be John Milius' assistant, so that's how they knew each other.
But that's cool. She's the same character in both the movies.
Right. All right. And I think that's so Die Hard, you know, like 89, 90, so that's, or 88, right, is the pinnacle of what we're going to know as sort of like this grounded kind of manly man action, Joel Silver action, and then it becomes a parody of it. It's just like the arc of like a James Bond actor, right? Where the first one's grounded, and by the fifth one, they're playing a cartoon version of themselves.
Exactly.
Like, now we're getting at that cartoon level in the 90s, and it's really when Michael Bay shows up a few years later with like Bad Boys that it kind of like
Armageddon.
It achieves its ultimate like form as total cheese at that point, but it's now moved so far beyond. So we're in this like proto Michael Bay phase where it's not quite a complete cartoon, but it's not quite grounded. And so that's why you have like the Aryan sword fight, and
so ridiculous.
And like they talk about like the whole gimmick that like he starts his career by choosing to take his clothing off to stop.
That's the whole front of the trailer. Like, oh look, Denzel Washington, no shirt.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
that's why I went to go see it.
Exactly.
No shame.
Was like but it makes literally no sense that a cop would do something. So you have to like really, to your point, just go for it, man, and just like shut your brain off. And
yes, it's the only way.
Though, because this isn't a total cartoon. This is supposed to be, you know, this, by the way, came out a month before Cape Fear, which is like,
oh wow, yeah,
same perfection of, you know, someone from your past coming back to undo, you know, or to take your life apart, right? And then this is just a sloppy version of that. So if you hold the two of them next to each other, it doesn't really work. But
it's fun to see Lithgow play that serial killer character he did in Blowout as well. But here he's sort of like an amped up version. Oh yeah, Cliffhanger as well. But also, let's just see.
Also, one of the nicest guys in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, he seems like it. He doesn't age. It's crazy. Let's just see what Ebert said about this movie. I think he agrees with Ben.
Somebody should have had mercy on this poor actor who was asked to do this. And as for that, the basic plot, which is the innocent man who's framed, is right out of Hitchcock and could have been a good film. But the way they do it with things involving child pornography and putting children in danger and accusations of sexual perversion and fake porno tapes and so forth. It's just so unsavory and so distasteful. And perhaps in a significant film, I wouldn't object to it, but this film is as light as a feather. So why deal in this ugly stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's very violent, and I suppose I should point that out. But I'm not giving it a positive review, just mixed.
From the guy who wrote a Russ Meyer movie. Okay.
Yeah, what? I don't remember the whole child porn thing he mentions in that review. Was
no,
the guy has
his best. Yeah, sorry, you go ahead, Bill.
His best friend gets killed. He has child porn in the briefcase and the missing money.
Okay, but he was like framed, right? Yeah.
In the end, it gets revealed that he was framed, you know. But okay. I think, I mean, that's he articulated it right there. It's like you're dealing with these really heady, kind of vicious, evil things in this cartoon kind of structure.
Such
it's not
a cartoon.
Like Con Air is like over the top, right? Like Simon West does the same sort of thing, and it's just like a cartoon. And you just think, but this one, it's like, you know, the way his friend hangs himself or is hung rather on stage. It's but hey, you know.
It makes me realize
gets shot by the villain in the end. So that's
and then what's his name? Kevin Pollak gets shot like 50 times, and he's still standing. And eventually he goes to the ground, and then he like has a conversation with him. He's like, "Oh, I guess since he shot me, that means he is still alive."
Yeah, and what a trope, right? Where it's like everyone else around this guy's collateral damage, and all die and lose their life just because this, you know. And his comeuppance is like, oh, he lost his job, you know, like
exactly. I love it.
Why do you think they called it Ricochet? Because
it's the worst title, I guess, because he came back to him.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Also,
I love it when he gets caught by his wife because he's been framed in this video being with another woman, and he says to his wife, "But I fought her off with every inch," and she's like, "Not every inch," and it's like serious dialogue. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah,
but it's very funny, and it could be a good drinking game, maybe. I don't know. So Ben, we're at the part of the show where you have to pick a movie that is not your own pick as your favorite film of the episode.
Oh,
what is your pick?
Oh man. Well, if I can't pick Speed Racer, I'll have to pick Demon Knight then for that.
It's because you have really good taste.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Bill.
It's okay.
You know. But
Bill, what do you pick? We put you in a tough situation.
No, well, I'm going to go with my old roommate. I'm going to go with Speed Racer because Demon Knight's probably the worst pick we've ever had on Ejectables.
I knew you first. All right. I am going to choose just because it was just such goofy fun. It wasn't like super, it was dated, but I'm going to go with Ricochet just because it was so ridiculous and entertaining in that regard.
Wow. 3-way tie. No one wins.
Yeah. Well, actually, does that mean we can all go to the gated estate, Bill? Is that what we get?
No. We get a signed headshot from Ian from 1999.
All right. We'll accept that. Anyway, oh yeah, we can find these movies in various places. We can find Demon Knight. You can rent it on iTunes Prime, YouTube. Speed Racer can also be rented in iTunes Prime and YouTube. And you can also find it on Howdy. I don't know what that is, but I guess you can get that through Prime. And Ricochet can be found on Cinemax through Prime. So yeah, Cinemax still exists, and those are my eyeballs with sparklers. Ben, thank you so much for your time. It was great to have you.
Thanks, Ben.
Oh, thank you for having me. This was great. I really enjoyed talking these lovely films with you guys.
Yeah, thank you for subjecting yourself to these, or us subject. I don't know. But anyway,
both.
Anytime.
Yeah,
anytime.
Come back. Okay, everyone, like, share, tell your friends. Ben, stand by for 1 second, and goodbye, everyone.
From downright bad to